Warning, Hebrews Toys Reviews is not intended for children. It is for adult collectors and the people over the age of 18. Hello, Hebrew77 here. Now, most of the time I'm in this position, but for today's review, we're gonna review some. What the? What is that? What? Who are you guys? It should be a decent review. Oh my God. Did you guys hear that? Oh my God. I may be haunted. Oh no. Wait. What the heck am I doing? I ain't afraid of no ghost. Because today we are going to review. Today we will review the original 4 real Ghostbusters action figures. The Walmart exclusives that came out this year. I have 4 of them and we're going to review them along with the 4 original real Ghostbusters action figures. Let's start the review. No further ado, let's get on with the review. No, I don't have any cheese whiz. That stuff is nasty. On to the review. And now, this is my review on the newly Hasbro released figures from Kenner. But Kenner is Hasbro. Anyway, yes. This is my review on the Hasbro 2020 real Ghostbusters action figures. They re-released them in these. They're all the original packages with all the original guys. I will be talking about these packaged guys soon enough. But first, we will talk about the loose ones. The originally released in 1987 by Kenner, these real Ghostbusters were the perfect complement to the cartoon with the same name. Today I will be focusing on the original 4 and nothing else. Not that I don't have a few accessories. Dun dun dun! Dun dun dun! Not only are these the perfect complement to the original cartoon, but we didn't get any movie figures until the mid-2000s. In fact, that's the movie figure proton pack that I had on Egon, as I could not find all 4 of my original proton packs. Only the 3. We will start with these 2 figures, as these were the first Ghostbusters that I ever received, as Ray and Winston for some reason was very hard to find where I grew up. Start with the original figures first. We got Dr. Peter Venkman, the leader and co-founder of the original Ghostbusters. Now with these figures, a lot of the Peter Venkman figures, if I can zoom in close, they tend to grow freckles over the years, I've noticed. Mostly around the neck area, and I think that that's a paint issue because he does have the brown jumpsuit. And now there's a whole story on why these guys have different colored jumpsuits and the history of the real Ghostbusters, but I figure, you know, there's a lot of other channels that covered this topic head to toe, and I'm not going to so much go into that as I'm going to review the figures. If you want to see a good real Ghostbusters in-depth figure review, I urge you to check out Retro Blasting for all your Ghostbusting needs. Childhood, this was the very first figure that I received, and I received him for Christmas along with Dr. Egon Spengler, who I also received that same Christmas. Put him to the side for now and discuss Dr. Peter Venkman. Dr. Peter Venkman, oftentimes sarcastic, was voiced by Lorenzo Music, and unfortunately he fell to poor health issues, caused him to retire his voices. He also voiced Garfield, which is kind of bizarre considering Bill Murray was the original Dr. Peter Venkman, and he voiced Garfield from the movie. Later, Dr. Peter Venkman was voiced by David Coulier. As you can see, this figure has the brown jumpsuit. The No Ghost logo came with every one of these guys' jumpsuits. They each have this communicator. They each came with a proton pack that was colored in blue with a yellow string attaching the neutrino wand. And as you can see, the feature that you're supposed to twirl at the bottom here, and this is supposed to spin around, has been cut off, and it's been that way on a lot of my Ghostbusters proton packs. If they weren't cut off, they were broken off. I think I did this when I started doing stop motion animation. I kind of wish I would have kept it on there. I didn't realize we were going to get other versions of these proton packs. But anyway, as you can see on the neutrino wand, it also has the... Oh, that's upside down. Hold on. Haha. The No Ghost logo. And it's basically... this part came off like that. Now, as you can see, I've already got stress marks on this, which it means it's about ready to crack in any second. And these did crack very easily, as well as these breaking off. And sometimes you would find that these were broken off as well. So I guess that's what happened to the other proton pack. But it's a very simple construction, really. But if you look at all the little details, you can see the biohazard, which is sculpted on there, the biohazard symbol. And then you've got the 3 lights, which are sculpted on there. And I have seen people do customs of these where they painted in the detailed features. It would have been a little nice to get some detailed features. Now, over here on the side, I think it was either this side or that side, there was a place where you could attach a trap. But these original 4 Ghostbusters didn't come with a proton pack. I mean, a ghost trap or the PKE meter. But that did come along later, which I will review those figures later. And now we will set Peter off to the side, and we will deal with Egon. You can see I gave Egon a proton pack that came with the, I believe is NECA Ghostbusters. The smaller ones. They did have big ones and they had smaller ones. They had bigger ones that came with a Ghostbuster 2 set, which the proton packs were non-removable. Although I think I did remove 1 or 2 of them from my set. We got Dr. Egon Spengler here with the red glasses and white lenses. And of course, Egon only had blue eyes with no pupils, which was the case with all of these guys. He has a what I would consider almost like a blue suit, maybe closer to a greenish color. And if you look at some of the cartoons, you can see a greenish color. And the suits were changed to identify each Ghostbuster, as though they didn't have to me it'd been easy to identify just by looking at their faces. Egon, as you can see, is the tallest of the Ghostbusters and was very hard to fit in the Ecto-1. And then of course now we move on to Ray. He is the only Ghostbuster to maintain the tan costume which we saw in the original movie. And basically, you know, all of these are the same, but Ray here seems to be a chubbier Ghostbuster. He's the only Ghostbuster they seem to have given a little bit of a gut. And as you remember that line from Ghostbusters 2, I'm supposed to play a clip from Ghostbusters 2. Let me pause while I do that. I love that line. And each one of these Ghostbusters came with a different colored stream that would come out of the top of their packs. Over here you can see that Ray's is orange, so I believe this is the original pack that came with him. Or maybe that's Egon's, because his was kind of a peach color, if you will. Now if you notice, I don't have any of the original Ghosts out here. I couldn't find them. Not that I don't have them, because I have Peter's, and I think I have Egon's. I might have Ray's. I think I have Ray's. But anyway, there you go. This is the original look of the original Ghostbusters. Now mine has a little bit of blue down here for some reason. I'm not sure why that is. You can see the gray boots on Ray. I think he's probably one of my favorite Ghostbusters. Of course, last but not least, there's good old Winston Zeddemore, which you can see here. He has sort of a light blue jumpsuit, not quite the same color as Egon's. It's kind of Egon's is darker, whereas Winston's is a lighter color. Winston was often the driver of the Ecto-1, and there went the neutrino wand. This neutrino wand, if you get a close look at it, had more of Ray's sort of proton stream, which the original packaging had Winston with a sort of neon yellow type of proton stream. We'll get to that in a moment. This is the hardest Ghostbuster to find back in the day. You had to search the shelves high and low, and most of the time kids would end up with the Fright Features Winston and Fright Features Ray. And the proton packs are pretty much all the same, and on their backs, I don't know if you can see this in the light, but on their butts it said 1984 Columbia Pictures on each butt was printed out. Oh yeah, there you go. You see that's a good zoom in on it. It's kind of awkward looking at these guys' butts, so let's move on. For the new releases, you can see here, Peter came with a ghost with kind of his arms are up. He came with a proton pack with a light green stream, and on each package it would say, "I ain't afraid of no ghost." Now, I think there are variants of these packages depending on what country you were in. But this is the package for the most part. I don't know that if I have to go over each one, so I'll do this one first. And of course on the back here you can see it shows all 4 Ghostbusters. The 2 ghosts The one that I could not find that I really wanted to find was Slimer, and I couldn't find him. And I do have an original Stay Puft Marshmallow Man, but I have no idea where he got to. Maybe when I get Slimer, I will review both Slimer and the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man, which I'm not going to get another Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. But as you can see, this Slimer here had a tail, a very long tail, and they originally did not call him Slimer, but he was called the Green Ghost. Now you got to remember when these went into production. These went into production before they had a cartoon series. In the movie, Slimer did not have a name. His placement name was Onion Head, and he didn't have this long tail, as I recall. Even in the cartoon, he didn't have this long tail. In fact, as the cartoon progressed, he lost the tail altogether. But I do remember sort of like a small stub, like in the back. But I imagine the reason why they made his tail so long for the figure was so you could hold him by the tail and make it look like he was flying, which is kind of a cool feature in that, I must say. Now he came with a chunk of pizza, a watermelon slice, and I believe it's a steak. It might be a steak or a pork chop, I'm not sure. But I will have him. I will have him one day. And on the back here, it shows how to use the proton pack and the neutrino. They call it a neutrino blaster. And it says neutrino blaster snaps on the side of proton pack. We know that. But here it shows the feature, the twirling feature, what I showed you, how to use the gun itself. Now up here they have sort of small bios for each Ghostbusters, and as I do with the G.I. Joes, I will read the bios they have for him. Peter Venkman and Grabber Ghost, the fast-talking natural leader of the group who wants to become a natural ghost hunting hero. Not too sure about that. As you know, he was very reluctant, and the only reason why he went into the business was to make money. Ray Stantz and Rapper Ghost. He's got a little monkey tail, looks like. The energetic enthusiast who can't get enough blasting ghosts. They kept that short and sweet. Egon Spengler and Gulper Ghost. The absent-minded electronic genius who is responsible for the group's zany ghost-chasing equipment. Dr. Egon Spengler. Winston Zeddemore and Chomper Ghost. The practical common sense member of the group who tries to keep the real Ghostbusters from getting completely out of hand. Now, in the movie, when I heard the commentary, they explained that he was the everyman, the everyday Joe, the guy who sort of represented the average person. He was the voice of the audience, so to speak. And actually, unfortunately, Winston did not come in until nearly the end of the movie, I would say the midpoint of the movie. All these card backs are pretty much the same, so I don't really have to show you each and every one. But you got Egon here, who I said came with sort of, I guess it's a light pinkish stream. And this is the ghost that he came with. And some of the commercials, you see them putting this ghost on his head. It would make an excellent finger puppet. Which I do have some finger puppet ghosts, believe it or not. And then you have Dr. Raymond Stantz, which none of these guys I don't think are called Doctor. As you can see, the names do not include the word Doctor. And I don't know why that is. I guess they thought maybe kids would get confused. Anyway, we got Dr. Raymond Stantz with his orange proton stream. And of course the what I call the monkey ghost, because he's got this swirly tail there. And then moving over here, you've got Winston Zeddemore, who came with this sort of, here, let me move the light over there. This long-nosed duck-billed platypus-looking ghost. And, of course, his proton stream is, I believe, that's a neon yellow. But you can't really see it good on camera. And now we will have one last look at these Ghostbusters. But before I do that, I got to go into a story of how I picked these guys up. It's an interesting one. As me and my wife were going to get fireworks, we stopped at a Walmart. Now, she was very reluctant to stop at this Walmart. She said, well, why don't we just stop at the Walmart in town? Because we know where everything's at. We won't get lost, blah, blah, blah. And I convinced her. Was very reluctant at it. But I knew in the back of my head somehow that this Walmart would at least have maybe one or two of these Ghostbusters. I had no idea when I walked down that toy aisle that I was going to find all 4 Ghostbusters. And someday I might do a review on the Fright Feature Ghostbusters. I hope that they have a second wave. I hope that they have a Janine Melsniff at some point, and maybe even a Ghostbusters Firehouse at some point. One last look at the Ghostbusters. Well, there you have it. That was my review of the Real Ghostbusters re-releases that came from Hasbro. I do hope that they have a second wave. If they don't, I'll still review the Fright Feature Ghostbusters, although it would be kind of nice to have those packages lined up with the originals. Until next time, this is Hebro77 saying... Next time, this is Hebro77 saying that... Hey, I couldn't have said it better myself. See ya!